So, Gina, have we got the paperwork finalised then for Jens to join the club? Is that all sorted now, finally? Has he actually accepted this contract?
Yes, it's breaking news on the OneFootball app.
You love to see it. It's on the breaking news with the OneFootball app. Amazing. Of course, the OneFootball app is the best place to keep up to date with all of the latest big news in the world of football. And of course, including this great transfer for us. Obviously, you can download the app for absolutely free from the top line of the description. It really helps me and my channel out if you can do so. And it is also a very good app for you guys to use. I use it all the time, and I think it genuinely is the best football app out there. Gina, you're a star. Thank you for sorting that all out. Let's go and meet our brand new player and see how he's going to perform this season. And so here he is, the brand new signing, eventually getting that contract over the line. Jens Nieve, the 18-year-old Belgian wonderkid, is here and looks incredible. So good. So of course, what a way to start off today's episode. Welcome back, hope you're all doing well and looking forward to today's episode of On The Rocks. Make sure you do drop a like on the video for me, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and leave a comment down below telling me who should start this season, Jens or Lasse. If we compare the two of them, you can see that, yes, Lasse is better, but he is 6 years older. He's 24, Jens is only 18. Jens, a lot more room to grow. Lasse probably won't develop much further than this. Also, the big one, Lasse's not actually our player, obviously. He plays for Man United. He just keeps coming to us on loan. So for me, I think Jens has to play most of the league games this season. Lasse potentially more in the Champions League and other big cup competitions that we want to be winning. So we'll rotate the two of them around, but we've got an absolute star of the future on our hands here. So very pleased with that transfer finally getting over the line. Speaking of transfers, no one else has joined the club, but I did turn down, get this, a £45 million rising to £90 million bid for Varela. It was a huge bid, and I really had to think about it. But again, we've spoken about this. There's probably not a better striker around than Varela, in my opinion. I think he is just so good, and so I couldn't let him go. I mean, you just look at him, and he's only 22 years old. He will get much better mentals as he gets older. He will become an even better striker. And of course, there's not too long left in this save before FM22 comes out. So I'd like to think that will keep him around and get him to score his goals and win his Champions Leagues. Annoyingly, Tam Lumper, he has put in a transfer request. He just keeps saying to me that he's done everything he can at the club. He needs to move on. He's not good enough. That's what he says to me. He is good enough. He's our starter, and I love him to pieces. He will never not be a starter for us unless we really spend some big money in the midfield. But for me, Tam Lumper is the heartbeat of this Aberdeen club. So even if he wants to leave, he's not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure not long before that he was asking for a new contract as well. It's a little weird. He just keeps going between wanting to stay at the club and wanting to leave. He keeps doing this. But there is one more thing to talk about, and this is a £52 million bid coming in for Fabrice de Klerk, which may eventually rise to 81 million, which is phenomenal. Now, they're going to give us 9 million after 20 league games, which is pretty decent. Another 9 million per the first 10 league appearances, so call that 18 million. Put that on there. That 70 million will be guaranteed. After 20 league games, 4.6 million, and then some bonuses for winning the Champions League and Spanish Cup and stuff like that. So in reality, we're probably looking more closer to the sort of 71, 75 million as opposed to the full 81. And I'm very tempted by it because it's an awful lot of money. And of course, we have Aaron Fielding just behind Fabrice. However, you look at Fabrice and you can understand why they're looking to pay £81 million for him. He, as a right back, is, I'd say, one of the best in the world. This is only further compounded by when we look at players that we do have scouted out at right back. I thought if we sell him, we have to bring another right back in. Someone ideally who's better. But of all the right backs we've got scouted out, this guy is supposedly the best according to our scouts. Andre Fernandez, currently playing for AC Milan, will be very expensive to bring in, but the issue is he is nowhere near as good. Literally, he's good mentally very good, but everything else behind. And so I wouldn't really feel, why would I want to sell Fabrice for someone worse to come in? Now, obviously, we don't really have too many right-backs scouted out at all, actually. So maybe that's, a downer on my side. Should have some more scouted out. If we get rid of the interest in transfer, again, no one else new comes up there because we are so good. Everyone wants to join us. But right now, the market dictates that we cannot sign anyone better than de Klerk. So we're not going to sell him. The first thing we're going to do today, though, is the Champions League group stage draw. We're in it, Celtic are in it, and luckily Rangers won their qualifying round to get through. So 3 teams in the Champions League group stage. It's great. We also have Hibs in the Europa League group stage, which is good. Motherwell have made it through all the way to the Europa Conference League group stage, but Kilmarnock unfortunately got knocked out to Legia Warsaw in the 3rd qualifying round for the Europa Conference League. So only 5 teams in the group stages for European football this season, down from the 6 in group stages last season. But here we go, group stage is here. We are a first seeded team for the competition, which is great. So let's just get all the first seeds out of the way. We're into Group B, which is fantastic, and hopefully now we'll get some lovely teams in there as well. You can't quite see the ones behind me. That's Bayern Munich, Madrid, Chelsea, Villarreal, and then you can see Atletico, Juventus, City, and Hertha Berlin. Obviously, we'd probably want Villarreal or Hertha Berlin in that. Let's see who we get. Chelsea into Group A. We get Hertha Berlin. Lovely. Brilliant stuff. That's quite a decent little draw for us, as Villarreal go into C, Bayern into D, City into E, Juventus into F, Real Madrid into G, and then Atletico into H. Right, the third seeded teams, this is where Celtic and Rangers come in. You can see Celtic there with Lazio, Monaco and Salzburg. Behind me is Inter, Rangers, Leipzig and Ajax. Don't really mind who we get here, but I would like to see Celtic and Rangers go into a nice group. They're all pretty difficult though. I think maybe Group C is a group where they could do quite well. Group D is a group of death. Milan and Bayern Munich are 2 very good teams. Obviously, Man United won the competition last season, so Group H is not ideal. So, I don't know, Group A maybe might be alright. A and C is kind of what we want for Celtic and Rangers. Maybe Group E with Marseille in there, but I'm not entirely sure how good Marseille are in this particular universe. Let's draw it. Salzburg in A. Monaco in B with us. That's good for us. Obviously, we can knock a French team out. That would be fantastic. Going to Group C is Ajax. Rangers in, well, they're not getting through that. Milan and Bayern are 2 of the best teams in Europe right now. So I don't think we're going to get Rangers through that group. Although we said that last season and they got through. Leipzig in E. Celtic in F. Okay, well, Rangers and Celtic have been given 2 ridiculously tough groups. PSG are one of the best teams in the world, and Juventus have recently spent lots of money on lots of players. I think this could be a bad year for coefficient points now. I think this could be a bad year for coefficient points, as Rangers get Red Star and Victoria Pleasant with Celtic. So at least 3rd place might be on the cards there. We get Porto, as you can see. Whew. Looking tough. Oh, now this is annoying. This is annoying, because Tamat Lumper's about to get very, very cross with me, because we're going to reject this bid from Barcelona because obviously he's our player. Although, despite Barcelona's bid, my client's preferred destination would be Sheffield United. Only football manager things, right? That no one in any walk of life has ever said that sentence. So we've come up to the first game of today's episode. I don't think I've already told you what we're going to do in today's episode or what's happened in between episodes. I've been too excited by transfers. Since you were last here for the pre-season stuff, we've won all games so far. 3-0 against Hearts, 4-0 against Hamilton, 7-0 against St Mirren in the Betfred Cup, with our brand new signing Jens Need getting a hat-trick in that game before beating Dunfermline 5-2 in the league. What it means is, as you would probably expect, we are top of the league as it stands right now. Celtic also on 9 points with us, Hibs on 7, Rangers on 7, Livingston had a good start to the season on 6, Hearts also on 6, Kilmarnock 4, Hamilton 2, Motherwell 1, and the other teams have lost every game so far. Today, what I think we'll do is we will play Ross County, because we've not played Ross County for a long, long time. In fact, the last time we played Ross County, I think was in Season 2. If we look at past meetings, because they got relegated in Season 2, which was, yeah, literally, we've not played them since Season 2. 2022 was the last time we played them. They got relegated. They've been in the Scottish Championship ever since. So, a nice test to see how Ross County have developed in the length of this save. We'll then do Celtic in the league, because that'll be a big league game for us, and then we'll kick off the Champions League against Porto. So 3 games today. Enjoy it. For the first game coming up, we are going to play what I'm going to manage the second team. Basically, the second string team are going to start this one, and then we'll slowly develop the team up towards that Champions League game. So, Marcelo Gill gets a bit of game time today with a backline of Jem Finley, Admilson, Tigger McLumper, and Aaron Fielding. Medina and Alavio combine in the middle of the park, with La Cruz, Thad McRae, and the new boy Neve starting on the right-hand side, with Evie Kath de Fothera starting up front. So, as kickoff is upon us, starting off with hopefully a nice highlight for us, on the rocks was very nearly Ross County. I chose Aberdeen instead because they were better in the end, as Jens Neve gets his first goal in the league, and of course the first goal for you boys. You love to see it. Fantastic way to start the game off. But as I was saying, on the rocks with Aberdeen never nearly happened. It was nearly the Ross challenge with Ross County. And the whole point of that is to just play as Ross County, and you're only allowed to sign players called Ross, or with Ross in their surname, for example. As we score another goal, by the way, Neve this time becoming the provider to Admilson from that free kick. In the end, I thought this was a bit more interesting than doing the Ross County challenge with just players called Ross, because that would get very tedious, and there's a good chance there's probably no Rosses out there that are very good. I mean, Ross McCrory, who used to play for Aberdeen, we sold him on to Chelsea, actually, went to Burnley after that. I think he still is at Burnley in this save file. But is he the best Ross to ever play football? Potentially. I can't think of any other good Rosses, as that goal is unfortunately disallowed for being quite obviously offside. I mean, there must be someone out there called Ross who is the best footballer called Ross in the world. He probably doesn't even realise. He might not even know he's the best footballer called Ross. Like, obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo is the best footballer in the world called Cristiano. Lionel Messi is the best person in the world at football called Lionel. There's probably someone called Tom out there who's the best footballer in the world called Tom. They probably don't realise it. In a similar sort of vein, there's probably someone who's driven on Lincoln's new bypass more than anyone else, and they don't know about it. It's these sorts of interesting records that I think people need to know about. I mean, I just ate some falafel before this. Someone in the world alive right now has eaten more falafel than anyone else alive at this moment in time, but they probably don't know about it. We've also just scored another goal right now. Brian Medina getting on the end of another free kick from Neve, by the way, who is looking really good at free kicks. And we go into half-time 3-0 up. We've not really focused on the game too much. I'm too busy thinking about who's eaten the most falafel in the world. But you can have a whole Guinness Book of World Records for that sort of stuff, couldn't you? But people just don't know. On a more like micro scale, no one has sat in this particular chair than me. Like, I've sat in this chair more than anyone else in the planet, but that's not very interesting. I want to know who's, I don't know, someone's listened to Poker Face by Lady Gaga on Spotify more times than anyone else. I'd like to know who that is. You know, I don't know how I've gotten to this sort of tangent. Maybe it's because we just keep dominating this game and there's not really much to commentate on other than Jens Neve getting another goal. I don't know. I'll stop talking now, maybe focus a little bit more, as Neve gets his hat-trick here today. He is a free kick genius. I didn't realise how good his free kicks were. Obviously, in ordinary play, Bryce Delaney would be on our free kicks. I think he's very good at them. But maybe Neve should be on it. A 10 rating for him in his Scottish Premiership, not debut actually. Debut for you guys. He's played I think 2 games already in the league, but not scored. Comes out for you guys and loves the camera. Scores for you lots. His free kick taking isn't even that good. It's only 15. I'm sure there's someone in the team with 19. And I thought it could be Bryce Delaney. Free kicks 9, not 19. I don't know who I'm thinking of then. Anyway, great performance from him there. Very, very happy with the new boy. And he's worth every penny we've paid for him. Anyway, the issue in doing the Ross County game before the Celtic and stuff is now that I've got to go through international break, which is a bit of a ball ache. Slight issue when it comes to the Champions League this season. We don't have 8 players in the team that are trained in Scotland for 3 years between their 15th and 21st birthdays. So it means we have to omit 3 players from the squad, so we can only have the 5 in there. The 3 players are one Tom McIntyre, which is kind of fine. The other one is going to be Robin Westerland. We won't use him too much. But then it gets tricky for who's the other player that shouldn't be in the squad. And Fox Anderson is back in 2 months' time. Which means no, actually, let's get him out. He's not going to play in the group stages. Let's get Evie Kath, Di Fothera in the team. I was thinking maybe Fox Anderson could be back in time for some games, but actually, he won't be back for any of them. He'll be back for, if anything, maybe the last group stage game or so. It's probably actually better to have Evie in there instead. So that's the team. We do have to omit some players, which means we probably need to sign some Scottish players soon. And now Tom McIntyre's upset that he's not in the Champions League team. I mean, you're lucky to be here, Tom, if anything. You're only here because Demancic got sad that there was no one else here that he knew. Anyway, we're now back for the Celtic game. And for this one, obviously, we do want to switch things around a little bit. Just get a bit of a stronger team out there to make sure we can still win this game. So we'll pick the first team that we like to play with, but we will rotate a few players around. Number one being Jan Cavalcanti, who's picked up a knock, so he'll come off for, if we can get him on the pitch, Thad McRae. I think Jens deserves to start this one because he played very well, although Lassialien does need the match sharpness, to be fair to him. So actually, no, let's leave Lassialien on the pitch right now. Demancic doesn't need the match sharpness, so we will bring onto the pitch Tigger McLumper instead. Bryce Delaney, also good match sharpness. Let's bring Le Cruz on instead. And then I also kind of want to bring on to the pitch no one else. Let's leave it like that. We do need a strong team for this game coming up. So that's going to leave a lineup looking like this. Peter Van Steen, Tigger McLumper, Sandro and De Klerk. Tam McLumper in the middle alongside our big new signing Jordan Ford starting at the Mazzala, hoping for big things from him today. Le Cruz, Thad McRae and Alien in the attacking midfield with Varela leading the line. So we are probably looking at like an 80% full strength team for this game against Celtic. Obviously us and Celtic are both unbeaten thus far this season, which I think is now a lie, I've realised. Did Celtic lose their last game? When we beat Ross County, they lost to St Mirren. Did not realise that. Well, okay, we're not unbeaten, or they're not unbeaten. We are unbeaten, they're not. They have lost a game. So obviously, I've just been talking rubbish, basically. Anyway, as the first highlight of the game is underway, there's heavy rain here today in Glasgow as Celtic look to come forward, bring the ball out of their own half. But I think we can get a challenge in there as we can't. It's a ball... It's a... I can't... when it comes to commentary, never assume. But I always do. And it's not great. I always do. And it always then goes wrong for us. 1-0 down to Celtic. Not ideal. But we might be able to grab a goal straight from kickoff. Varela's shot is blocked by the defenders. And that's the end of that highlight. Okay, let's get into this. Obviously, last season, we won 37 out of our 38 league games, drew another one to Celtic. This season, I want to try and go one step further, and I want to win all 38 games this season. In the meantime, Le Cruz on the ball, into Lassialien, who is not fouled for a penalty, holds on to possession, gets it to De Klerk, who gets the opening goal of the game for us to bring us back on level terms. But I must say, this is not the commanding display that I thought we would be displaying today, essentially. Just for half-time, it looks like Celtic might be in with a chance here as they look to come forward from their set piece. No, Thad McRae with a challenge into Varela, who is through and scores to make it 2-1 to us just before half-time. I want to see 40 goals this season out of Varela. I think he needs to score 40 goals this season. He's gone 15, 36, 37. It's got to be above 40 this year for me. And when it comes to Jan Cavalcanti, well, he's had, I think, 40 plus goals the past 3 seasons. I'd like to see him challenge towards the 50 goal mark this time around. We won't bring him on at the moment because he is still slightly injured. Actually, I think he's on the bench at all, so we can't bring him on even if we wanted to. But we will make some changes in a second after this highlight as Van Steen into 4 to Lassialien. Lassialien can't score. Let's get Lassie off and let's bring Jens on for the final 20 minutes or so. Let's also bring Alavio on to give Jordan Ford a little bit of a rest before the Champions League. We've just scored a goal behind me as Van Steen comes off for Demancic as well at left back. How's this one gone in the back of the net? Looks like a corner to me. Put in the back of the net by Tigger McLumper. There he is, just waiting at the near post in the back of the net. I think Tigger got 8 goals last season. I'd like to see him get to 10. So got some nice goal targets for our players this season. In the end, despite a bit of a dodgy start, it does look like a pretty comprehensive victory for us. 19 shots to Celtic's 5 shots, which is pretty poor for them. We stay top of the table. We've already got a plus 17 goal difference as well, which is phenomenal. Really happy with that. Domancic into Varela to nearly make it a plus 18 goal difference. Couldn't quite do it. Right, well, great work from the team there. Very happy with that one. Now it's time to rest everyone for a couple of days or so to get ready for the Porto game. So we spoke earlier about the Champions League draw and obviously how we fit into it along with Celtic and Rangers, but we've not really spoken much about what it means for the other clubs in Europe from Scotland, because their draw hadn't happened when we did our Champions League draw. It happens like a week later or something like that. And then we've also not spoken about how the other nations are doing in Europe this season and what it all means for our coefficient points. So we already know that we're chasing down Italian and German teams for coefficient places. They automatically both get 4 teams in Europe, so that's frustrating. We've got 3, but we also need to stay ahead of France, who also have 3 in this season's competition. So we're looking at Monaco. They're through. We are looking at PSG, who are through as well down in Group F. And then they've also got Marseille there with Man City, Leipzig and Besiktas. PSG just behind my head slightly. The good news for us is that we do have a German and a French team in our group. What we need is maybe to throw the game against Porto and then hope that Porto beat Monaco and Hertha Berlin and they come second in the group and then we can top the group. It might not be worth doing that actually in the first group stage game, but if you know, we could maybe look to do it down the line. So how are Hibs getting on then in the Europa League? Well, there are only representatives in this season's competition, and just behind my head you can see they're in a group with RZ, Brno and Sporting from Portugal. So I think they should be at least in the top 2 there. Now, interestingly, Italy have 2 teams in here, Torino and Napoli, which is a little annoying. Have they got any more up here? No, just Torino and Napoli. Germany have got Hoffenheim in this competition. And that might actually, you know, they've got Borussia Mönchengladbach. Okay, that's frustrating. France have got St Etienne, but that might just be it. Okay, so we're oh, they've got Le Havre as well. Okay, that's annoying. Right. So we are down on coefficient points quite a bit already. And then in the Europa Conference League, we are looking for, if we can find them, Motherwell. There they are in a group with Atalanta, which is tough, Olympiacos and Kimki. They might struggle for top 3 there. What is good though is that I cannot see any French teams in there. Oh no, Nice are there. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. There's definitely a German team. I saw that in Bayer Leverkusen just behind me, but no Italian team. I say that, it's Atalanta. I'm an idiot. Okay, we need Motherwell to batter Atalanta. Basically, it's not looking great right now. We have 0.5 lower coefficient points than France, and we are currently about 7 points behind both Italy and Germany. So what we need this season is for our fewer teams in Europe to just progress further than the more teams of France, Italy and Germany. It's going to be so difficult. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Obviously, I think the priority really should be trying to stay ahead of France rather than trying to focus above us at the moment. But of course, this is all easier said than done. I can't control what these other teams do. I can't. You know, I'm not the manager of Celtic, Rangers, Motherwell and Hibs. I can't be. Anyway, let's get into this game against Porto. We are going to play the full strength team for this one. First 11. So that adds Jan Cavalcanti back into the fray. It adds Bryce Delaney back into the fray. It adds Alexandro back, or Domancic, sorry, back into the fray. That's the team. Submit it. Let's go. So, kick-off upon us for the third and final time today. Celtic are currently playing Juventus, and I didn't see who Rangers were playing, but it's going to be a tough game for them either way too, which is not ideal. Although, I don't know, maybe they do better. I don't give them enough credit, maybe. I mean, last season, Rangers did phenomenally well to get through their group. So well, which was beautiful. This time, I don't know if they're going to do it again. It was a miracle, really, last season. And they are currently playing against, if they're on this list somewhere, they should be. I couldn't see them again. They must be further down that list. We'll double check in a second. But Jan Cavalcanti, forward to Varela. Just a little bit too much on there as Meslier, the lead keeper in real life, collecting that one for Porto. He's obviously on a bit of a career switch heading over to Portugal. but he had a poor clearance there, and it nearly let Jan Cavalcanti score the opening goal of the game. Corners, though, we know we are good from them, as Demancic gets his header on target, but actually it does get flagged for offside in the end when it bounces around the area. Looks like a very quick free kick was taken there, but we're not too fussed about that. Rangers, you love to see it. They are 1-0 up right now against Red Star. That's the game that they have to be winning in their group, as we've just won a penalty to hopefully put us 1-0 up in our group too. So there we go, penalty awarded, and it's going to be Jan Cavalcanti taking it, looking for the opening goal of the game. He gets it, never in doubt. Jan Cavalcanti with only his second goal of the season so far, due to not playing because of injuries and for squad rotation, but he's up and running. He's going to get 50 this season. That's my hope, at least. Peter now with a goal kick moments later up towards Tam Muklumba, who is just sitting deep. A little bit of a poor pass there though. Luckily Peter on form to make a comfortable save there. So far things are going particularly well. Lots of highlights in this game. Not really getting many goals, but at least we are winning. The 3 points is the most important thing here, as Tam Muklumba into Jordan 4. Back to Tam Muklumba, who looks to drive forward in towards Varela, who nearly scores at a very acute angle. Some of our passing is superb. Sometimes though it just puts players into too poor position. Long throw in here from Van Steen, cleared but only as far as Van Steen into Jordan 4, who is having a pretty reasonable game so far. It will take time for him to settle into the club, as he should get an assist there. The first shot blocked by Lassialian, but then he scores the rebound. That should go down as Jordan 4's assist, but it won't, obviously. But heading into the break, 2-0 up is a very good position to be. 3-0 is even better, as it's just put over the bar by Demancic. Rangers still winning 1-0. Crucially, Juventus 0, Celtic 0. If they can hold a 0-0 away from home, that's a great result. And literally as I say that, Juventus score to go 1-0 up against Celtic. Come on Celtic, get back in there, get a goal, because we need you. As Porto score a goal. This game now hangs in the balance. I am surprised actually. We've not really done as much damage to Porto as I thought we would have done. I mean, in terms of shots, we are doing that damage. I think it's like 20 shots now we've had in this game, but we're just not putting them in the back of the net. And we need to do that, otherwise we could be looking at a bit of an upset here today, as we do hold on to possession. Jan Cavalcanti into De Klerk, into Jordan 4, with a great header on to Varela. This goal does stand. You love to see it, and this one does go down as 4's assist as well. He's had a great... Oh no. Surely not. That was a very, very late VAR decision there. Where is the offside? Oh, the game froze. Wait. Okay, well the game's not telling me what's going on here, or where the offside was. I think this is UEFA being corrupt and trying to crack down on us. And you know what? I will not have it. I will not have it. UEFA cannot shut us up. We are the best team in the world. And UEFA are trying to change it. You know, they want a Real Madrid up there. They want a Man United up there. They want someone who's got more money than us, who can pay them more money. That's what they want. They're trying to shut us down here, because I'm pretty sure that was never offside. As Lassialian into the middle, Jan Cavalcanti can't score. I can just feel a Porto equaliser coming as well. And it could come now. Sandro with a good interception there. Jordan 4 forwards, but no one getting on the end of it. Back to Jordan 4, into Varela, into Cavalcanti, who just dribbles through some defenders. His shots, though, going wide of the mark. More highlights keep coming, which make me more nervous for the fact that Porto are going to score a last-minute goal, aren't they, to level things up, and that'll be a pretty poor start to our Champions League campaigners. Finally, another goal in the back of the net. Try and disallow that one, UEFA. I dare you. And they're too scared of me. They know that I'm onto them, and they're trying to now backtrack a little bit. That goal does count, although it was quite scrappy. How does it go in here? Lassialian in towards... He shoots, actually, and it just bounces to Varela. Okay, fair enough. Celtic still losing. That's not so good. If we can scroll down to Rangers, although that screen never loads, does it? We know that already, so probably not worth checking until after the game, really. But Rangers hopefully still winning there. If we can make it 4, this will shut the game down completely, but we can't quite do it. And now, here come Porto. Good challenge. Can we get the goal then? Bryce Delaney can't do anything with it. Is there anything here for Rangers? They're winning 2-1 now, okay, but Red Star coming back a little bit in that game, scoring late on. It's nearly all over here as Lassialian hoofs it up to Varela, who is through and scores a beautiful little chip there. Great goal for him. Is that his hat-trick today? I can confirm it is not his hat-trick. Cavalcanti, Lassialian and 2 for Varela make it not 3 because he didn't score there. So there we go, a 4-1 victory. You love to see it. How did Celtic and Rangers get on? And of course, the teams in the other competitions. So, in the end, Berlin actually beat Monaco in our group, which is quite interesting. Rangers held on for a victory. You love to see it. And they go top of their group after Milan and Bayern draw. So that's a good start for them. Unfortunately, Celtic end up losing to Juventus. They should beat Victoria Pleasant, but PSG starting off very strongly. Europa League, Hibs get off to a winning start in their group, winning 3-0. Great to see. You love to see it. And then in the Europa Conference League, how have Motherwell got on? A 2-1 loss to Atalanta. That's frustrating. Anyway, we're going to try and fast forward a little bit with all these Champions League games. I think we'll come back for Rangers and then the second Hertha Berlin game for next episode. So, thank you so much for watching today. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around to it and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. I will see you tomorrow. But until then, have a wonderful evening. Lots of love. Goodbye.